Hey there, and welcome to Idle Weekly. Today's game is Clicker Heroes 2, and the reason for that is because a massive update was recently released to the experimental branch. So, experimental branch's initial update was 0.9, which included the wizard. This is 0.9.1. and it is probably the biggest update Clicker Heroes 2 has ever had. Which is really interesting that 0.1 can be so big. But anyway, I just want to tell you exactly what the update includes. As much of it as possible, I might forget a few things. First of all, there is a huge amount of optimization. The entire game's codebase was changed to make the game smoother. It was mainly made because offline progression needs to be as fast as possible. The offline progression in this game is basically you playing or the automator playing for you. Just it does that like at 1000 times the speed it does while you're online. So that's about it. In the sense that the offline progression that took so long to develop for that reason. It's one of the most powerful offline progression mechanics in any game. Also, the cave world is out now, as you can see. I really like the monster designs and the entire atmosphere. For example, the damage numbers and the gold numbers are graphic renders. They aren't text per se, and therefore they can be manipulated with shadows, and as you can see, when damage numbers fly into the darkness, they darken. It's really nice. It's a small but amazing detail. Another small detail is that, so in Guild 0, Ethereal items are all green. And because of that, these darker grey elements on each of the items that you saw before now are green. They basically take the color of they are basically remodeled to include the color of the ethereal item you're wearing, which is pretty amazing. Another thing that was changed was Clickstorm and Critstorm now start at twice the speed as they have been so far. Then Critstorm, and then they double each time the buff goes to 0. They double the speed instead of increasing linearly. And Critstorm, instead of being guaranteed crits, it doubles your crit chance. Which is much better because it made the crit chance stat completely useless. And I don't think they want to have any useless, completely pointless stats in the game. I mean, they even went as far as to check and balance internally the ethereal items up to world 10,001. That's a world you will probably never reach. But they still went out of their way to make sure that the ethereal items stay nice. They don't break the game and they don't feel underwhelming either. They have to be just perfect for all levels. Whatever level you reach, or world you reach. And I quite like the ethereal items. They will probably give me the true endless nature of, oh, Buff Guy doesn't have a graphic either. I thought only Heaper doesn't have a graphic. Oh well. Now just look at me fail the boss. Especially because I have no energy. Wow. But yeah, the worlds are now really hard. The guild scaling before was times 10 at Guild 0. Then it was times 10.5, times 11 in the next guilds. Now it starts at times 15 and it goes up, it multiplies itself by 1.1 each time. So each guild is 1.1 times harder than the previous. But also, you know how in the live build currently, the game is so easy that at least I didn't see the need to restart any worlds between World 1 and World 338. But now I actually restarted the world at World 8 because 825 boss took 10 attempts that I all failed. It is really hard now. But it's hard in the sense that it isn't too difficult. I think it's just about right that if they could... Well, I'm not the best player, but I'm about average. So, if they could take the scaling down from 15 to 14, I think it would be absolutely perfect. 14 would probably push the restart zone to 10 instead of 8. But at the same time, I think it would make the progression... Actually, I don't know. I would have to see what times 14 looks like before I would be able to tell you whether it would be nice or not. But times 15 is alright. The major bosses are really difficult. But once you get this nice set of Ethereal items that actually work for you. But Ethereal items are random drops, you get one per world that you beat for the first time. And they go from cape to weapon. And I really like them. As you can see, it even tells you that this node will give you 0.14 levels of total energy. And for example, this node will give me 0.68 levels of treasure chest chance. And therefore my treasure chest chance is no longer 0.00. It's 7.36 because I got 1.36% from the Ethereal item. Ain't that great? And I think that's already it. I know that currently they are trying to ignore that rounding error, but I know that they disabled the wizard because they are currently working on Ethereal items for him as well. The Guild 0 is doable without Ethereal items. It's difficult, but it is doable. But Guild 1, you need Ethereal items. There is no way around it. But you get 30 Ethereal items per world. Not per world. Per guild. So you get quite a bit of a choice in each and every guild. That's about all. I guess I could cover the new stones. So you have first world of guild, not first world of guild. So in the previous update, you got 5 skill points to spend whenever you guilded. In this one, those 5 mandatory skills are unlocked by default now. These here. So you get big clicks, energize, multi-click and click storm, the most important abilities. And therefore with this stone, you can basically make it so it switches to a set that you would use only the basic abilities with. Then, not first world of guild would change to a set that you would use in the rest of the guild. So you can actually make the automator play for you all the way through guilds now, which is pretty amazing. Well, you could before as well, but you had to use tricks and such to do it. And then there is the next monster, more than 90 centimeters and less than. So the 90 centimeter thing, it's 90 centimeters is the range of Siege attacks. That's why it is that specific. And that node is probably to try to not make you dash too much. Because one of the world trades are a new thing and I really want to test them out. One of the reported bugs was that this keeps repeating, you can keep clicking here, but I still haven't seen it. But one of the world traits is exhausting, that means you lose haste whenever you dash. And you can make that with this stone when monsters are more on res. With these stones you can balance that world trait out pretty well. And of course the infinity bug that I showcased in the last episode, that is gone now. So the game is endless, it's just a lot slower. Until you get the nice set of Ethereal items, then it becomes faster again, because you got the nice set of Ethereal items that will carry you through the guilds. But of course you will need to change the Ethereal items. You can change Ethereal items between worlds. And the latest one, if you use this option here, attempt next world, then the Ethereal item appears here right away, without the box opening. I wish the box opening dialog or window would still appear if you switch worlds while you are online, while you are playing. In offline progression I can understand it doesn't need to be there. But I wish it was I wish it was there when you are playing actively. It's nice to open and see the item you got. But the latest item, when you go through worlds with attempt next world, the latest item you can switch between. You can switch it out inside the worlds as well. But the rest of the items you can't. So you have to use the do nothing sometimes if you are between guilds, because you need a new set when the world trait isn't favorable to you. Also note that the first two guilds have a set world trait, they aren't random. So world 31 to 60 and 61 to 90. They are set in stone, but the rest are random. So the real game now begins at world 91. In the sense that there the world trait randomization kicks in, so everyone's game will be completely different. And I can't wait. And once I have experienced what world traits exactly are, I will look into making a mod that adds more world traits. Because I really like the idea of the world traits. And that's about it, really. If I missed anything, then let me know. But otherwise, if you have any further questions, then I can try my best to answer them. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.